Welcome to the Lesson of the Week with yours truly, Sean Thunder Wallace. I'm a performer, composer, and professor of music at The Ohio State University. This weekly program is designed to inspire and inform the serious music student. We're all students here, so join me on the path of discovery as we learn together.
When I play Cadenzas, there's a few things in particular that I'm thinking about. Because when I first started playing Cadenzas, I wanted to do kind of the sunny stick thing, where a sunny stick cadenza tends to be pretty short, not super developed, but he plays something that it's like he'll play something that's pretty cliche, or something that's cliche for him.
Right.
One of his classic, or he'll play a diminished pattern,
Right.
or something.
That's
then,
what I would think is the basic. Cadenza is a diminished.
And that's fine, and that's great. But after a while, especially with a lot of my writing, I started wanting to kind of stretch a little past that. No disrespect to some extent, of course, but I wanted to stretch a little bit past that. But when I would stretch past that, I didn't really have any rhyme or reason. I was just playing. I was just playing whatever came to my head, and that that lasted for a couple years with that kind of approach, and then I just started finding that my cadenzas really they need more shape. I need
that's
to,
like I like kind of structure, or like a purpose of not. I don't mean having everything planned, but
Well,
having shape to it.
But you can be pretty deliberate and planned out. To me, the best cadenzas are the ones that are very deliberate, very planned out. That doesn't mean that they're totally scripted. That's not what I'm saying. There's still space to improvise within it, but there's a specific structure that you're using. One of the things that you can do, I kind of discovered this early, was just play the chord progression of the song.
Right.
Go back into
what I think about is one of my favorite ones is the Redman one at the end of My One and Only Love, where he plays the bass line and solos over it as well, with like boom, 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 and it's like it fits perfectly on the horn, and it's just he restates part of the melody, and it's really nice. It's a nice segue from doing all your finger stuff to that.
Right. Absolutely. So playing the chord progression. So that's one thing that you can do. And so I started doing that. I wasn't really necessarily stating the roots or anything, but I was, just improvising with the chord progression, and it was pretty easy to hear that that's what I was doing. And Sonny Stitt would do that sometimes, so I was like, okay, this seems to make sense. And then I got tired of that, there's got to be more, So then I got more and more deliberate and more contrived about my approach to playing cadenzas. Now, when I say contrived, I mean, still the goal is still to sound organic. You want to be organic, but in my preparation, when I was practicing for playing cadenzas, I would have a few specific things in mind. Well, a couple things that I think about are good examples that you can check out online, or if you listen to the national anthem. Okay, because obviously I don't have a lot of space to play a lot of stuff in there, but there's a cadenza in there, and then there's some stuff that's in between that kind of stretches the melody out a little bit, where I'm playing some specific lines and patterns. Yeah, that stuff was pretty worked out because I knew I was going to be playing in front of a lot of people, and I wasn't going to just go out there and just wing it. I just wasn't going to do that. Then the same thing with that solo saxophone thing I did, that Autumn Leaves solo. Now that I really didn't have a real specific plan. I knew I was going to play Autumn Leaves, and then before I played, that returning theme that kept coming back, I worked that out real quick. I was like, okay, let me see if I can play this. Okay, it feels comfortable. I worked that out. And then I worked out, there were a couple patterns in the beginning of it that I was like, okay, this would be nice and interesting if I could do this. But then the rest of it was totally improvised. And then I started playing, I'd play like the roots of the chords and start playing, I was kind of going back and forth between playing bass line and improvising and going back and forth, that kind of stuff. All that stuff is very effective within that context. One time I did a cadenza, I think, no, maybe you weren't around for this, or maybe you were, I don't remember. But I did a cadenza where I went through and I started improvising on the blues, and then I modulated the blues.
Yeah.
And then I just kept playing, modulating until I got back to the key that the song was in. It was very obvious what was happening. The audience wasn't lost by what I was doing. And yeah, playing in every key, it's kind of flashy. Hey, that's what it is though. A cadenza kind of is that opportunity for you to really say something meaningful. If you play flashy stuff at all, that's probably a great place to play flashy stuff.
Right.
All that false fingering stuff that Brecker does, multiphonics, circular breathing.
Yeah, circular. That's the perfect spot.
All of that kind of stuff is perfect for. Oh, absolutely! It's totally perfect for cadenza. Now, there are a few dangers with cadenzas. One of the dangers with cadenzas is it's only you playing. So if you start playing some wrong stuff, you better know how to figure out where you are and resolve it nicely. Also, if you lose track of what key you're in and what key the song resolves to, that's not good. You don't want that to happen. And of course, all the gigs I've played over the years, that's happened to me a couple times because I got carried away and it wasn't really that planned out.
Yeah.
What I was going to do. I was just like, well, I'm just in the moment, pure improvisation. Let's just play, and then you fall flat on your face a few times, and you're like, okay, well, I guess maybe I should be a little more deliberate about this, that type of thing. But that's kind of been my overall approach, thematic development, taking something very simple and developing it. You don't and obviously you don't want it to take 10 minutes to develop, but taking a simple idea and developing it and adding little pieces to it, extending the same line, start with a couple notes and you keep extending it and you keep extending it and you keep extending it, and then you have this really long line that you're playing and everybody can clearly see what it is that you're doing. They clearly understand, comprehend what you're doing, and they can sense the discipline in it. See, that's what I like. To me, the players that I really gravitate towards, especially for cadenzas or just period, is the ones that when I listen to them, I can hear the discipline. If I can really hear the discipline, that's what I'm trying to deal with. And does that mean that they're all contrived and they're and it doesn't sound, there's nothing inspiring about it? No, it's totally inspiring. Totally inspiring. I mean, you can play with feeling and still sound like you have a disciplined thing happen. You can just hear the intimacy. You can hear the intimacy that the person has with their instrument. I guess that's what I'm saying. Those are the players that I gravitate towards. And I listen to them play. I can listen to Brecker play cadenzas all day because of all the attention to detail